welcome to the first episode of our podcast by Pragya, the AI and Analytics Committee of SCIT. I'm your host Aditi Deshmukh, and today we'll be talking about generative AI and the future of education. It's our immense honor to host a very special guest. She is a visionary leader, an inspirational mentor, and the driving force behind SCIT's success. As SCIT celebrates 25 years of excellence, it is my privilege to welcome the esteemed director of SCIT, Dr. Dhanya Pramod. Under her exceptional guidance, SCIT has achieved new heights in education, fostering innovation, and nurturing future leaders in the fields of data science, information technology, and management. It's truly an honor to have you here, ma'am, and welcome to our podcast. So, would you like to introduce yourself and give a brief about your background to our listeners?
Hi everyone, thank you for having me for this particular special podcast. So I have been a computer science professional for a long time now, almost 24 years. So from the school days, I was so interested in mathematics and topics related to that. So that actually paved my way for choosing computer science as my interest area. So by training as a computer science professional, later I delved into management. So I also earned my business administration degree and then went on to do my PhD in information security. So then I was so passionate about teaching. So though I had a short tenure at industry, when I delved into teaching, I found that's my passion, in fact. So for the last 23 years, I have been into academics and have developed contemporary curriculums. So when I have wanted to start a niche area program in data science and analytics, I changed my interest also. From security domain, I then moved on to analytics, data science, and now managing the technology into generative AI and other applications of data science into business. So that's my journey so far, and I enjoy dealing with students and seeing the bubbling energy in my students.
Yeah, it's truly inspiring. To kickstart things off, for some of our listeners who might not be very familiar with the technology, what is generative AI?
So generative AI in simple terms, it's a technology that generates content which could be a text, an image, or anything that interests you, a music, a movie, or even summary of certain ocean of data or content that is available. So whatever tips you want for your daily usage, probably this is the best technology that can help you in a couple of seconds. You can get those simple tips. So that's how the contents get generated from the ocean of data.
And how is it different from the traditional AI systems?
So AI, artificial intelligence itself, is a technology that resembles a human brain. So traditional AI systems generally look into vast amount of data, analyze the data and try to gather the insights. Maybe from the patterns in the data, it predicts futuristic outcomes. But in the case of generative AI, it's more about interpreting, or you can say identify certain niche patterns in the data and generate new content. So generating new content is what generative AI does, and drawing insights from the ocean of data, that's what traditional AI system does.
So I like to know that what are the examples of tools that we use as the generative AI tools. For example, one of the tools is ChatGPT, which is used extensively. So can you mention some other tools for music or anything?
So you see, there are so many tools that are getting developed. So generative AI tools are evolving. So conversational AI system, this is one of the best tool that I can talk about, which is actually reaching out to millions of people.
Yeah.
So customer care centers are using it extensively. Chatbots. So chatbots have been used in educational system. If you go to SCIT website also, you will see a chatbot there. So conversational system is one of the best tool that I could say, which relate to each and everyone. ChatGPT already told, similarly Gemini from Google.
Yeah.
And these days when you Google, even the Google page itself has got a generative AI content. So generative AI content will not give you very specific source of the data compared to the other kind of Google page, search pages that comes in. So that's the best way to summarize the text for the readers. Similarly, there are so many tools available for video summarization. PPT makers are available. We also use a couple of tools for research, but I don't endorse using generative AI for research, but it will just give you some glimpse, or you can say tips to actually understand the trends in the data. So this is what generally seen. So I think the student community is better aware of most contemporary tools, but in general it can be used for generating image from text or video summarization. And especially in the creative industry, I have seen people given a context, it can come up with beautiful visualization. And the Indian government also, they have into developing an app on AI app which can actually scan the book pages and then visual representation of that text, so it can be done. So there are so many such tools that aid in various industry that are coming up.
Yeah, sure. So coming back to our topic, that is the use of generative AI in education field. So I would like to know that how is generative AI technology impacting the field of education and educators, institutions as a whole?
So each and every process that we have in the educational system these days can be supported with generative AI. So it can actually enhance the productivity of educators, be it a teacher, be it an administrator, and even the students can take use of these particular tools to improve their learning experience. So gamified platforms which gives you personalized learning experience, then pathways, different learning pathways to provide students their own individual experiences. This is possible. And as educators, even while developing the curriculum to understand the contemporary or evolutionary aspects of the today's industry or the market, this can be actually earned through generative AI tools. And also I have seen so many administrators use Gen AI tools for drafting and creating some reports and all, which actually saves lots of time. It also helps in creating professional content. And of course, while all these things are there, I still believe the human touch is really important.
Yeah. So you mentioned that educators can use this technology for their day-to-day tasks. Like they can use this technology for the mundane or routine tasks that they are doing. So would you like to give some examples regarding that?
Say for example, creating some flashcards for your class. So you have so much of the information overload is there. So as a tutor, how do you actually get that important points that you have to definitely include in your session? And even AI-based tutors are available. So one of the best example I could say Khan Academy, one of the favorite learning platform of most of us. They have come up with an AI tutor. Their chatbots are already available for question answer sessions. This is one aspect, tutoring. The second aspect I would say is grading. When you have so many students to grade, rubrics-based assessment if you prepare, auto-grading tools can actually help the tutors or teachers in doing that particular work. And content creation, definitely learning material preparation. So these are certain areas wherein otherwise we would be spending a lot of time. However, while preparing content, I believe that expert opinion to be taken. The scrutiny from experts should be there to validate the contents generated by AI tools. It can definitely aid the human teachers, but with that responsibility.
Like it boosts up the productivity of the educators as well. Yeah. We have seen that there is an increasing trend when it comes to learning. There is a trend in personalized learning and tailored content creation. So I want to know that how is generative AI impacting this trend?
See, I have seen students for almost more than 20 years now, and every class is diverse. So it's very difficult to give personal attention to every student. and meet the individual demand of every student or expectation of every student. So personalized content creation and the way in which the student expect a learning experience that can be created through Gen AI. Say for example, some students learn by listening, some learn by reading, some learn by doing. Some learn by having a mixture of all these things. So, if the learning pace and learning expectations of the students are different, such kind of tools with the help of Gen AI can actually, facilitate the students to enjoy their learning experience by, self-paced learning platforms.
SCIT recently hosted a event that was Integrity and Ethics Conclave. And my next question is, what are the challenges and ethical concerns faced by institutions when using generative AI in their work?
The generative models, actually large language models, they work depending on the data on which they are trained. So the data that you give, if it is good, data, you will get good content that gets created. So it actually works on transformer models, which are actually based on training data. So if you are not selecting this data properly and your architecture of your models are not good, you will end up in generating text or content that are not up to the mark. So the evidences of correctness for this particular data is a challenge. How do you actually scrutinize the content generated by a generative AI models? Till this date, it's human validation. So do we have any other mechanism? Otherwise, as we discussed earlier, there are lots of tools available. Text, image, video, everything gets created. How do we actually validate the content and assure that this is the right thing that is intended to use? So that evidence validation is one challenge. The second is the bias. So if you want to create something or predict something, the data on which it is trained, that needs to be inclusive. It needs to accommodate the diversity of the data that is actually available in their world. So this is bias and discrimination is another issue that I have seen in most of this kind of technology, due to which sometimes if it doesn't get proper data, then it hallucinates. So the content which generated may not be trustworthy. So you may not be able to believe it as it is.
I want to know that how does institute ensure that there is transparency while using these generative AI tools? Like these tools must be transparent as well as understandable. So how can an institution ensure that?
See, large language models or generative AI models as it is are trained on data set and the architecture, the technical architecture of this model needs to be disclosed. So when someone has to adapt this kind of models, they should be knowing on what kind of data it is being trained and what is the architecture of the model. So once you know that, you know how the particular model will be behaving, and unless the model is able to justify how and what kind of content it is generating, people won't believe. So that's why that explainability aspects comes in. You need to understand how the model works, on what data it is trained, and at the same time you also need to explain to the people why a certain content is getting generated. So that makes the people trust the system. So the trust on the system will come with transparency and explain.
For generative AI, as you mentioned, the basic input is data. So institutes also need to ensure data privacy, because it's a very important concern when it comes to ethical considerations. So would you like to mention something about that as well?
Yeah. So especially when business want to use this kind of generative AI tools, they must be churning lots of customer data or so many other critical data. Say for example, healthcare. So much of critical information needs to be analyzed before it generates the content. So this data will be having lots of confidential information, which if you don't use it properly, it gets leaked and get into the wrong hands, For that reasons, privacy, and privacy by the way it's a right, fundamental right for everyone. Every individual needs to take care of their privacy. And that too, of course, in the globally, if you see US or Europe, they have come up with their strong data protection and privacy act long back. India recently, we also have passed our own data protection and privacy bill. So, in all this context, in couple of years' time, you will see the privacy will become a center stage. Without consent, you won't be able to use the data. So, generative AI definitely is going to face this challenge of how to preserve the privacy, yet, able to have unbiased data,
Yes.
all inclusive data. So, data is required, that's the core of any AI system, but at the same time, confidentiality or privacy of the data needs to be maintained.
We see that there are many educators who are very knowledgeable people, but somewhere they are left behind when it comes to catching up with this latest trend of technology. So, how critical do you think it is for them to integrate their knowledge and their teaching methods with this trend of generative AI?
So we always say educators are the ones who are always, learn. When the market change, when the curriculum changes, or when the new technology comes, we have to be updated. So in most of the educational institutes, regularly faculty development programs, staff development programs are actually conducted. When you look at Symbiosis as a whole, we do have such sessions regularly. Also, we were one of the pioneering institute to come up with university to come up with an AI policy for our entire university. So I was part of this committee to create this AI policy, wherein we actually come up with a framework how generative AI and tools can be used in the educational system. So people should embrace technology, at the same time the right use of technology is very essential. So during this training, we convey the policy to the faculty members, how it can be used in student learning, how it could be used in assessments, and how it has to be cautionally used in the research aspect of the academics. So all these things are laid down in our policy, and we educate our faculty to use contemporary tools and at the same time nuances, to understand the nuances of these technologies.
That is a very great initiative. So we are heading towards the end of our segment. I would like to know that for upcoming years, let's say 5 or 10 years or beyond that, what is your vision for future of Gen AI, especially in the field of education?
So if you look at globally, people started embracing Gen AI in education. So a couple of examples to quote, Singapore, they have come up with their smarter nation with the AI-enabled educational mechanisms. South Korea has come up with a full-fledged e-learning, wherein they have generated e-books by using the Gen AI technology. So we have also have at national level, frameworks are getting formed. So I would say that going forward, we will foresee that there will be frameworks, AI, Gen AI based frameworks, strategic implementation of all these Gen AI tools, and of course, promotion of ethical and responsible use of AI. So going forward, governments, organizations like UNESCO has got their own initiatives for promoting SDG 4 through generative AI. So they are telling generative AI can actually bring in more inclusive education. So it can reach to people who are otherwise do not have teachers, human teachers, or do not have access to learning resources of schools or colleges. So in that way, if you look at in 5 to 10 years time, we will have a more robust infrastructure for Gen AI, wherein multiple organizations, governments and educational institutions will come forward and provide equitable and quality education to all.
Definitely, and I think our country is heading in that direction.
Yes.
So we have planned a fun segment as well, where we'll be showing you memes around AI. So we'd like to capture your reaction on that.
Yes, okay.
This is the first one.
If I can never do everything, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. this is the second one.
Yeah. So everything is becoming hybrid now.
Yeah,
Right?
machine learning is the complete combination of algorithms and maths. Yeah. So my last question for you is, as Pragya is a budding new committee that is working on these, growing the competencies of students in these technologies, what advice do you have for us as the company?
See, any student club that actually gives a platform for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and your own personal development, and especially interpersonal skills get developed, team building skills get developed. So I appreciate the efforts of Pragya in coming up with such a kind of a platform where you also try to bridge that little gap that exists between your classroom learnings, your industry inputs, and the actual educational setup. So it's a good initiative.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much for joining us, taking out time from your busy schedule for us. And today's discussion was very insightful, and I'm sure our listeners have lots of things to learn from this discussion. And the perception and new vision that ma'am has provided on this topic, that is Gen AI in education, was truly insightful. Thank you so much for joining us again. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more such episodes. Pragya is a AI and Analytics Committee, and our motto is AI for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.